Hi everyone, it's Debbie. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. If you are new here, I'm a reseller. I have been reselling for 17 years. I started on eBay back in 2004. Then I added in Amazon, ThreadUp, Poshmark, and recently Mercari. In today's video, I am going to do part 2 of a question and answer series. It was part of my 1,000 subscriber thank you, where I told my reseller story and I said to ask a question, and if you asked a question, you would be entered into a drawing to win $100 of merchandise to any of my eBay stores or Poshmark closets, and we had 5 winners. But I did not get through all of the questions, so I'm going to continue the rest of the questions today, and I said I would pick one more winner, but I think I'm going to do 2 more winners instead of just one, because I thought it would be nice to do 2 more winners, and if I don't complete the questions today, then I will do a part 3 and pick another winner or 2 when I do that. So I said in my what sold video that I would do the next drawing Friday at 9 a.m. So right when the clock turned to 9 o'clock, I hit the start button and I will insert a clip and show the first winner.
Okay, I used a random YouTube comment picker and it filtered all of the questions that were on my reseller video, and right at 9 o'clock I hit the start button and the winner this time was Luna. Congratulations to Luna.
Okay, so the first winner was Luna. Congratulations, Luna. And her question was, I was wondering whether teaching has always been your dream job. If not, then did you have any other professions you were interested in? And that's a fun question. I did start out when I went to college, not quite sure what I wanted to do. I started out in nutrition for 1 semester, then I changed to accounting, and then finally I settled on teaching because I thought I would love it and it would be a great job to have while raising kids. And the number one thing that was important to me was having kids and being there for my kids. So I told him my reseller story, how I quit my job right when Morgan was born, and then that was the most important thing to me. So actually, reselling has been my dream job and I absolutely love it. It feels like a hobby now more than anything, and so I do love it. And now YouTube, I absolutely love YouTube also. So I feel like I am experiencing getting my dream job or jobs. I also was really interested in exercise, fitness. I thought maybe, I've said often, if I went back to college, if I went back, I would get a degree in exercise physiology. A few years ago, about 4 years ago, I got my personal training certification and did just a little bit of that. But again, it just wasn't as good of money, but that's also another dream job. So I have several things that I really love to do. Now I will break here and insert another clip. I went ahead and picked 2 winners instead of just 1 for today. And if you have not entered to win, I am sure I will have a part 3 because I don't think I can get through all of them today. The reseller story is the video that you have to ask the question on to be entered to win. Okay, so here is winner number 2. Okay, congratulations to Marie. And Marie asked, are you intimidated with shipping? Does it ever get easier trying to figure out how to ship? It absolutely gets easier, and it was so intimidating at first, and especially with breakables. But with any new thing, the first time, if you think back to any other jobs that you had, when you go into something new for the first time, it can be intimidating and a lot to learn. But once you start doing it and you've experienced it several times, it gets easier and easier. And now I am not scared to ship anything. It is so easy to ship now. So just do your research on how to ship, and just once you've experienced doing it, it really helps. And I have several shipping videos, and I'm also going to create more where I break down shorter parts and address specific issues. So if there's any area that you want me to specifically address, let me know. But one of the things that I think was the most intimidating was the breakables, and so I made a video on that, on how I ship breakables. And basically you just give it plenty of cushion, don't give it wiggle room, and double box are the keys that I have found. It does get much easier after you've done it a couple times. Then it is not bad at all, and it is totally worth it. On Poshmark, the shipping is simple. It is a lot more to learn on eBay, but it's very worth it if you learn it. Okay, so now I will answer as many questions as I can, and then I'm sure I will have a part 3 in a few days. The next question is from Jean, and she asks, so how many hours do you put into reselling now? The hours buying, listing, shipping, and YouTube videos. Okay, well, YouTube has definitely taken over, and that's the majority of my time. I probably spend 20 to 25 hours a week on YouTube, which sounds ridiculous. I had no idea how long it takes, but the editing takes forever because I'll do silly things like make a face or stumble all over my words, and I'm like, how did that come out? And so I have to go back and edit things out, and especially when I do what solds and I pop up listings and the prices, that takes a really long time. So I found it takes me about 10 hours to create each video, and it was a lot more than that in the beginning, but I've gotten it down to about 10 hours. So if I'm doing 2 to 3 videos a week now, that's somewhere between 20 and 30 hours, but a lot of it I'll do on the go also if I have it on my phone, so that's nice. And then reselling, I am probably down to the sourcing, shipping, and listing probably 10 to 15 hours a week, and I really see myself suffering. So I do need to figure out some balance on that and get a lot faster at editing YouTube videos so I can put more into reselling so that I can have things to show you guys that I sold. So probably sourcing, I might go once a week or so for 2 to 3 hours, and then a few hours shipping and just a few hours listing. So not a lot now, but I'm hoping to balance that out again. So I'll keep you posted on that. Then the next one is Linda Marie, and she said, I'm about to put up my very first eBay item, hopefully later today. Yay, did you get it put up? That's so exciting. My question is about sell-through rates. I understand I can view recently sold items, and that will show me exactly that, but I don't get it. Is there an equation? Is there something I click on? Once I can figure out the equation, what is a good rate? Basically, you want to see pretty much as many have sold as are listed. So when you go through and you search an item, you put all the specific information in the field. So say you put Nike women's golf shorts size 4. You'll see all the listings pop up. At the very bottom, it will show you how many are currently listed. Then if you slide over the tab that says sold, and it has you slide over 2 at the same time, sold and completed, it will pop up another number at the bottom. This will show you how many has sold. Now you want to compare how many have sold to how many have been listed, and this shows you for the past 90 days how many have sold versus how many are currently listed. So if there are 50 that have sold and 50 that are listed, that's a 100% sell-through rate. That is excellent. Now, in the case like on one of my Thread Up Rescue boxes, on the men's box, there was the Bonobo shorts. And when I looked those up, I could see that, I can't remember the exact numbers, but it was say something like 100 were listed and 300 had sold. Well, that is a lot more have sold than had listed. So that, I know that's going to sell fast. I will not have that listed long and it will sell. And that's exactly what happened. It sold right away, I think like 2 days or so. If I had 100 listed and only 25 had sold, that would be a 25% sell-through rate. That's not very good. I might list it and it might take a year to sell. You know, it just depends on the item, but the closer you have to 100% sell-through rate, as many have sold as are listed, the better your odds are that it's going to sell. Now, say there are 100 listed and 90 have sold. I still think that's pretty good. I will pick that item up. But in some cases, like when my husband and I were in Plano, Texas the other day, he found all these super nice pants and I kept saying no, and I felt so bad about that. But it would say like, there are 795 of those pants out there, 28 have sold. That's probably not going to sell. I will basically just waste my time by listing that and just go through and practice searching those, and it will become second nature, and you can really quickly see if it looks like a good sell-through rate. And I think that is probably the most important thing, because you can take great pictures, you can have a nice item, but if the sell-through rate is not there, it's not going to sell no matter how nice the item is. Okay, the next one is from Melissa, and Melissa said, do you have a certain way you look through racks at thrifts quickly and efficiently? Well, when I'm at the bins, I go pretty quickly and I just pick up things, fill them, look them over, take them, and there's not as much of a risk because at my bins, it's 99 cents a pound for clothing, less than that for home goods and glassware. So that's how I go really quickly at the bins. But when I am at Goodwill or a thrift store, I take a lot longer to look through things, and I can spend 3 or 4 hours in the store just looking at things and going through everything. And so I have found my best way of going efficiently is usually just stepping back and looking. If I'm out of time, I'll just go to a rack and I'll step back and look for patterns or different things that stand out. And you wouldn't believe how many times I find really great items by just standing back and looking and getting kind of a general overview of an area, especially in shoes, because there are so many that I feel like when I'm up close, I kind of miss the overview of it. And so stepping back and looking for things that just pop out work really well for me. And then other than that, when I'm just going through, just feeling the different fabrics I think make a big difference. You can just kind of feel some clothing items and tell that's quality or not. And I used to just sit there and look up everything. And then I'm like, you know, that's silly. First, let me look and see if it looks in good condition, if it looks nice. I'm not even going to bother looking it up unless it looks nice to me. So that's kind of eliminating some things also. So great question. The next one is Shelly Harrison, and she asked, any tips for a first timer at the bins? I'm still working up the nerve to go, but really want to try it soon. Just a little intimidated based on how aggressive I hear people can be. And yes, I think some bins, people can be pretty aggressive, and I have had just one experience where it's been a little bit aggressive. I always just find a bin that is not a brand new one that has just come out, because I found people skip and they pass on really good things that I value because they don't value it. So just because a bin's been out for a little while does not mean that there are not great finds in it. So I usually just find a bin that people aren't just swarming over, and then I don't have any trouble there. But one time I decided I am going to get in line because they'll bring out all the shoe bins and you have to line up, and then they say go, and everybody just races forward and just grabs shoes like crazy. So I did it one time and I raced up and I found a pair of Tory Burch shoes that were so nice. They sold right away. They were great. But as I went in and I rushed and I got them, I got pushed out of the way, like not someone being mean, just like they crowded in, and I just kind of, I was like, okay, I'm not going to do that, I'll wait. And then I went back later and found more things that were great that people had passed over. So I think just don't get right in there in the mix right at first, and you will be just fine. And one time when I first went, I walked into the bins and I didn't know that there was a rule that you have to line out when new bins are coming out. And so I just waltzed in there and start going through the shoes, and I got yelled at, some people in the crowd and then a worker, and he's like, you can't go through that, everybody's waiting. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, I had no idea. So, you know, you might find someone and ask them if there are any rules like that so that you don't make anybody upset. but I feel comfortable enough to take my kids there. So it's not bad at all. Oh, I had one other story that was kind of crazy. I went to the bins one time and there was a lady there, and I'm pretty sure she was on something because she was just yelling and cussing, like really bad cussing. And she started getting shoes and she started just throwing them like crazy, and I don't know, something was wrong. And so I just kind of left the area and went over to the clothing. So there have been a few interesting experiences. Let me know if you do go and what your experience is. And I have not gone to the bins for a long time. I didn't even know about them until I started watching YouTube videos. So probably other people on here have a lot more experience than I do. So if you have experience at the bins more than I do and can give any tips below, that would be wonderful and probably help me and everybody else out there. The next one is from Kathy. My question is, how do you keep your selling platform synced? Okay, well, I didn't do a great job on this recently. In my last What Sold video, I had said that I did not update one quantity, and I accidentally sold something on eBay that I hadn't updated because I sold it on Mercari. And what I often will do is, at first, I only had eBay and Poshmark, so it was pretty easy. And when I would sell it on one, I would just quickly know to check the other one and see if it was listed and take it off. Or sometimes I would put in the notes. I thought, oh, every time I cross-list something, if it started on Poshmark and I cross-list it to eBay on eBay, I will just put end on Poshmark, and then on Poshmark say end on eBay, or just like write the word Posh or eBay to clue me in to end it. And then when something sells, the first thing I'm going to do before I ship it is automatically check the other platform to take it off. The next one is Lauren M, and she asked, which platform do you sell the most on? And historically, it has been eBay for sure. Over the 17 years, I've sold a lot on eBay. I hit like the $1 million mark years and years and years ago. So I've sold a lot on eBay, and I think on Poshmark, I've sold just a small percentage of what I've sold on eBay. However, in the past 6 months or so, I have had many weeks that I have sold a lot more on Poshmark, and for some reason, my eBay just plummeted, and I thought that it was maybe because I had a lot of old listings that were a few years old, and I never had a problem with keeping things on there because they all sold eventually, but I think certain areas have become oversaturated, and I felt like maybe having those listings that are just stale was bringing my store down and not getting things pushed out. So I've talked about this on some of my What Solds. I ended almost everything, and I'm slowly relisting everything and just updating my listings and deciding, okay, do I want to send this to ThreadUp? Do I want to send this to a resale store? Do I want to donate it, or is it worth relisting it again? So that is a work in progress. It was a difficult time to do it since it's summer and we seem to be going somewhere every time I turn around. But hopefully I'm going to get my eBay back up there where I'm selling a lot again, because it has always completely been my dominating place to sell, but it hasn't been for the last few months. Okay, so let's get really comfy for this next question. This is from Mona, and Mona, you might have opened up a can of worms. She says, as a reading specialist, I guess you would love to read. If so, what type of books do you enjoy reading? And I like a wide variety of books. Right now, I thought I'd share the book I'm in the middle of because it is so good. It is Jordan Peterson, 12 Rules for Life, and just a little tiny bit from it. It says, in this book, he provides 12 profound and practical principles for how to live a meaningful life, from setting your house in order before criticizing others to comparing yourself to who you were yesterday, not someone else today. And just every chapter is based on a rule for life, and it's so good. And just the stories and examples, just highly recommend it. My husband's reading it also, and so great book. And then probably my favorite is psychological thrillers, and my favorite, I always loan out the books. I usually, if it's something I really love, I make sure I have it in hardback, and then I loan it to someone and don't get it back. But Behind Closed Doors is probably my favorite psychological thriller, really good. I'll link it down below. And then just ones like that, as long as they're not like too scary or too gruesome. But I love the twists and turns in books. And then like John Grisham, I read all of his novels. I love books like that. I love books about running. I love running. This one's actually my husband's, but I've loaned all of my running books out. Probably my favorite running book is Let Your Mind Wander by Dina Castor. And then Born to Run is a really good one. I have a lot of those. I'll link those down below. And then if you like running books, you can kind of look and see what I linked. And then if anybody has any books you would like to share also, if you put them in the comments, that would be great. Another one that I read recently that was so good was Where the Crawdads Sing. I love all the chicken soup books. Those are definitely a favorite. I love Freakonomics books. Those are really good. And then I've been sneaking these in because I've been around chess my whole life. My dad is a really good chess player. He was president of the Oklahoma City Chess Club for my whole growing up life, ran tournaments, and I wasn't as interested in it then, but I've started playing more lately. And I taught my husband to play, and I knew he'd be good because he is super smart, very analytical and logical. So I thought those things lend very well to being a good chess player. So he has gotten really good fast. So I got this book for him, and I've been sneaking and practicing some of the tactics so that he doesn't get ahead of me. So those are some of the books that I like. And while I'm sitting here, let me answer a couple more questions because this is pretty comfy. And I got this blanket, this quilt from the bins. I got these pants from the bins. I got this shirt from the bins. I think that's cool. Like, I didn't even think about that. I just put on some comfy clothes and I was like, oh my goodness, everything I'm wearing came from the bins. The next question is from William Bill, and he said, my question is, have you considered selling on Kidizen? I know you pick up kids clothing, plus you can sell women's items too. And yes, I have. I think that would be another great platform, and I have thought about it, especially when I subscribed to List Perfectly, and I thought, oh, I could just cross it over there too. But I feel like I have so much on my plate right now, and I'm learning Macari that I think I need to get that down really good first, and YouTube before I add anything else in, because I want to continue loving reselling, and I don't want to get stressed out and spread myself too thin. So yes, I think it would be great for me to add it, but I want to do it in the right timing when I feel like I am ready to add something else in. So great question. We will lead into one more question. This is from, I'm not sure how to say it. Is it Yog Life? I'm not sure. I always think yoga. I always read it yoga. So you have to tell me what that is, how to pronounce it. And so we will answer her question next. The question is, what is your advice to someone who wants to begin reselling clothing full-time to focus solely and commit to Poshmark or to cross-list on eBay as well? I think if you're doing this full-time, there's a huge benefit to having it on both platforms because it just gives you that much more ability to sell. And on eBay, you have the international shipping possibility where you are having the things that you're selling exposed to far more people. Now, there are some areas in eBay that I have found that have been oversaturated where Poshmark things do a lot better. I started buying a lot of Free People liquidation, and I found it was really oversaturated on eBay. Now, some things still sold great, but I found that I did better on Poshmark with the Free People. So my idea is if you put them on both platforms, you have more of a chance to sell the items, but I would make sure you have the one platform really established first and just really all of your processes lined out. Make sure you have a really good handle on Poshmark before adding in eBay. And eBay, there is a lot to learn. So just start slowly and not put pressure on yourself, and don't let it become a stressful thing. So that is everything that I have for today, and thank you so much if you're still watching. And if you're new here and would like to join me again, I would love it if you hit the subscribe button and come back again. If you receive value from this video and would like me to do more question and answer videos, give me a thumbs up so that I'll know that you enjoyed it, and I will have part 3 out in a few days also. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.